everyone, and thanks for coming for all of the guests. We have 2 presentations for you today, a total of 4 students completing the program and graduating. Our first group is going to be made up of Ignacio Luciano, Wally Gebreselassie, and Tyler Fuqua. Now, Tyler's from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's dedicated to enjoying life while pursuing his passion for developing real applications to make a difference in the world we live in today. Ignacio is originally from Argentina. He moved to Miami and was a hotel manager for several years. Then he moved to Denver and was a staffing manager. Now he's been in Seattle since November after traveling for a little bit. He thought about doing a web development boot camp for a while until he finally decided to do it, and here he is, graduating, and very excited to start this new page in his life. Wally was born in Ethiopia and grew up in the same place. Then he moved to the US in 2014. He's been looking for a school that could help him get his career on track, and after 3 years of seeking, he chose us. So now he's finally finished his studies as a full-stack Java developer at Coder Camps and would like to thank God, his classmates, and his teachers. So let's give a round of applause and we'll see their project.
Well, thank you, Ani, for the wonderful introduction. We are the Coder Dudes, and we want to give you guys a tour of what we've been up to for the last 3 months. Okay, so we'd like to show you some of the technologies that we used to be able to create a full functioning app. Some of the main technologies we used is the front end for React. We used Redux to manage our state. And then another vital piece to our application, it was Java to control all our business logic and to tie the front end and the database together. We used MySQL so we could have our many-to-many relationship. And another thing is we used CSS, HTML, jQuery, and Bootstrap as part of some of the core components to be able to develop our app. And next, we'd like to give you guys a tour, going to the homepage first of the Coder Dudes University. All right, cool. So we are the Coder Dudes University. We are awesome. And life is so great. Last 3 months has been a great challenge for the 3 of us. We've learned a lot. We actually got to grow together from around the world, being in diverse parts of the country, so which has been really awesome. First, we can just navigate to the register page, and then we can show you that going to the register page, then we can register and then show the functioning of that app. So we got registered here. Ignacio is just going to throw in some mock data in there so we can show you guys that we have a full functioning app here so that we can register. We got these cool little dudes that Ignacio also did too. We like to look at it as the 3 Stooges here for the last 3 months putting this project together, so it's been definitely a fun adventure. If you could go ahead and register. And perfect. So now we've registered and we're able to register to the backend as well with MySQL. And to demonstrate this, if you could put the first name and then mess up the password so that when you try to log in, it's not going to allow you to log in. So if you could press login. And as you can see, we're able to. Oh, okay. So we were able to. So keep going forward. So our project's not perfect. We got a lot of things in the future that we'd like to implement as well, and that we're working on. So right here is the dashboard, and this is kind of a resource center. We just kind of threw some links together and stuff that will take you straight to the actual website, so you can, research the different technologies that are your favorites, and then. In the future, we plan on putting our own material in there so that we could, help students as they go through the process and be able to get through the 3 months a little bit easier than going through all the struggles we did. If you could go to the videos page, and we'll navigate there. Okay, awesome. So we got some animation in here, as you can see, rocking back and forth, some resource videos and things like that. And so this is just a good place just to get some inspiration and to be able to, look at some resources that could benefit you. Again, we got more plans to put actual data, that videos of us teaching class and being able to help give a better understanding of the languages and things that we are doing. And if you could go back to dashboard. Now we can actually go to the favorite side. This is the best part. So as soon as we click on that, you're going to see Three Stooges pop out, catch your attention. Now we have different resources and everything, so we can choose our favorites. And that's just going to help us in the back end to be able to understand what the students are going through and what they're most interested in. And then later we can be able to tailor those favorite courses to them and give them the right instructions. But so now what we'll do is we'll just select React.js. We'll hit submit. And so what will happen there is in MySQL, we'll be able to, should be able to demonstrate here that all the favorite courses and everything are going to be stored back in the databases with favorites. We also have the users and courses so that we can have a common ID in there. So every time someone registers, we're able to know who they are and be able to provide the resources that they're looking for. And then we'll navigate back to the dashboard. Okay, perfect. And then that's about wraps it up for us. Definitely has been a challenging last 3 months of our lives and got to learn a lot. And so one of the biggest factors that we wanted to say at the end of this was to say thanks to Steve and Bob for mentoring us and giving us the right directions and being able to help through, enjoying the new passion of our life and being able to continue our career in a new path. So that's Dakota Dudes University, and we thank you all for showing up and being a part of this. It's been an awesome journey, so thank you.
So, yeah, do we have any questions from anybody that is in the crowd?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
I'm so old school, I don't understand any of these languages.
Well, I got a question for you. So when you were going through this process, what would you say was the hardest part of it? Like, what was the most difficult aspect of this to get to work?
I would think and feel the same with all of us here, three standing here, that being able to take all of our thoughts and putting them together and understanding how the different technologies work to be able to structure the project in a way that we all can work concisely without too much conflict, which is a huge challenge, right? Because when you're first going into this, you just don't really understand what you're getting yourself into. You learn all the basics, you learn this technology, but you really don't understand how to put those things together. And so that's why we have Google, and it's a beautiful thing. Every time that we had a hard time and we go to Steve for help, one of the greatest things that he said to us is, you got Google. you can go search the same thing I'm going to tell you on Google. And so that's what we did. Sometimes we didn't understand and we kind of felt, like we're just being left behind, but you got to know those core things to be able to be a professional at this. So I'm going to hand it over to these guys right here if they have any.
Yes, so same here. It was very hard, a lot of struggles. You have to take breaks, and I'm glad that I was coming here every day because I was always asking Steve, so at least he was able to help me add those little missing words and syntax and stuff like that. So I mean, it was very good, very tough, very tough, but it was good, and it was very nice. Well, everybody that was here in campus, they were able to see how excited I was every time something was working, because I was knocking. I didn't mind if they were in class or something. I was still knocking the door and telling them that the stuff was working. So I mean, and it's nice to see in the end the result, and at least I'm very proud of what we were able to do, knowing nothing from zero. So, but of course, without the help of Steve and Bob also, that he was a great help, we could have never been able to do all this. And of course, you know, like the team support and try to understand each other and try to see, you know, how the stuff works.
What was the most exciting discovery you made about either yourselves or the products that you're trying to, the languages you're learning?
Not to overthink.
Yeah, right.
The
Because we do
solution could
overthink.
be staring you right in the face. And if you don't stop and think for a minute and just think your process, it's easy just to miss a lot of things. So, you know, just being able to hone that in is the greatest thing for me.
Yeah, the overthinking, it's a key thing here, because you try to make sense in your head, and some stuff it should make sense in your head, but we try to make too many steps, and only with one step that is solved. So, but that's of course a different mindset that you have to set up on you in order to get there.
So what would you say was like the most exciting part of it?
The last week, because we were done, knowing that we were graduating.
Yeah, last week was like our last week. Just it was like everybody was waiting. The word comes from Steve that say you will be graduated. You know, we were like waiting eagerly about the word. When Steve, you said that you will be graduated, everybody was like so excited. And, you know, we're watching now. Our future is just bright future, and hopefully we will be successful on our career side. And I'm so happy to spend here 3 months with you guys and getting more skills, which is I don't had before this knowledge. Even I don't know. I heard about Java, but I don't know what's in. And I'm so excited to do this stuff and to have this experience, and so happy.
So a question about Java, how comfortable are you with the Java language after this 3 months?
I feel confident enough that I could walk anywhere and be able to land a job and be able to help, you know, testing, and then also being able to create new endpoints through MVC controllers, so main controllers. So
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, me too. I think like what we learn and what we investigated with the Java, you know, we understand at least of course the back. So that's pretty much all the what's the right word? The logic. No. I don't
Business
know.
rules?
Yeah, the business rules. Yeah, we know that that's a business rule. So if at least the front end trying to talk to the back end to Java, if the back end doesn't like it, then it won't throw out anything. So that is very important. The back is super important too. So yeah. I mean,
So what do you guys have any future plans with this project? Are you guys gonna keep moving forward with it together?
yeah, I mean, we've discussed a little bit about moving forward and actually making a full-fledged application that is really tailored to, you know, helping people that are struggling and to make them a better coder and have that resource there that sometimes you don't get online when you're just researching, because sometimes we're researching online, maybe the solution is not there or is incorrect. And so we want to help be able to provide something that's going to lead you down the right path. And then maybe have a chat there to where someone on the other line, if you have a question, maybe somebody can help guide you through those things quickly. So.
Yeah, help with the concepts, because that's the first thing that Steve said when we first started, the concept. Sometimes you cannot just hard copy the code or just watch 10 tutorials that they're not gonna work. So you have to get like 3, 4 different 5 codes and then just try to put everything together and make sense and make it work.
Any other questions from anybody?
Congratulations to all of
Yeah,
you. That's
congratulations.
wonderful.
Super excited.
All right, next up, presenting an individual project, we have Ennis Hansen. He graduated from Mercer Island High School last June, and he's just looking to get a jump start on a successful coding career. Other than coding, his hobbies are improv comedy, producing music, and just having a good old time. He's completed an individual project here for you today.
Hi everyone, I'm Ennis. Hello. So before we get started on the project, I just want to talk about my motivations a little bit. So when I set out to create this project, I wanted to create something that I would like to use in the future and that I could use, and I did. And so here it is. Let's talk about the technologies that I used. I used React.js, React Bootstrap. You should be sharing that as a sharing. Okay. React.js, React Bootstrap, React Redux, Firebase, Babel, Webpack, Entity Framework Core, ASP.NET Core, SQL, RESTful Web API, HTML, CSS, ECMAScript 2015, and Git and GitHub. Now, on to the actual project. My project is called Movie Tracker. What is Movie Tracker? Well, I have it written down. It is a tool to help you keep track of movies and actors that you might find interesting. And essentially how it works is that you can log in and it will keep track of actors or movies that you want to favorite. And it's persistent. You can change accounts, and I will demonstrate that right now. I should be logged in. Let me just test that. I should be logged in. Let me just, yes. Perfect. Now let's head to my favorites. So I have a favorite actor. It's Tom Cruise. He's a pretty good actor. And I have a favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption. It's a classic. I love that movie. Now, let's register a new account. Let's call this account Steve in memorial of the last group, or not memorial, but recognition. Steve at steve.com. Password. Yes, Steve. Perfect. So now we're in a new account. We can go check the favorites. That should not be there. We can go check the archives to go see what movies I've added. And there's a bunch of movies here and actors. Let's favorite some. Let's say Steve likes Johnny Depp, and he also likes Arnold Schwarzenegger and Emma Watson. Cool. Now, let's head back to the favorites. Check the favorite actors. Boom, they're all added. How awesome is that? It's pretty cool. Now, let's take a look at the back end. So, for my authentication method, I used Firebase, which is a Google product. Now let's refresh it here, and we should see Steve at steve.com has been added to the database. Cool, awesome. And we can also go check to go see and look at his favorites right here, which I said, whatever. Favorite actors. You can see there's 3 here. Johnny Depp from Steve, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Steve, and Emma Watson from Steve. Now, I think we should expand this database because there's not that many actors or movies here. There's a lot of actors and movies in the world, and we don't have a few. So let's add a movie. Let's add Logan. I like that movie. It's a pretty good movie. And let's add an actor. Hugh Jackman. And we can go back and look at the archives. We have Logan, submitted by Steve. And we have Hugh Jackman, submitted by Steve. And we're going to favorite those. Cool. So now those I'm going to add to the favorites database. And let's go take a look. Hugh Jackman, Logan. That's my project. Hope you liked it.
Let's open it up to questions. Anybody have any questions for Ennis?
What was your favorite part of this whole experience?
I'd say when I knew that I was done, that was great. That was so great.
When was that?
Let's not talk about it. But when I just knew that I had finished my project and I was totally ready, that was the best part. Easily.
So, of the technologies that you learned, what would you say was like your favorite to have learned about?
My favorite was React. I really liked working with React and seeing all the cool, crazy, kooky stuff I could do, which isn't actually that much here, but you know, the possibilities are quite large. I like the fact that it's a single state application as well, which what that means is that I can go to different tabs and render different things. And you'll notice that the page never has to refresh. This is all in one single state. It's great.
Awesome. So what would you say was like the most challenging part of this?
The most challenging part was coming up with a name, Movie Tracker. That took weeks, and it's just so great. The rest of it was so easy. Like I just did this in like a day or like 2 days maybe. No, I'm kidding. The hardest part was the login page for sure. The authentication and all that crazy stuff, that was the hardest part. But I did it. So woo.
I see you went with Firebase.
I did go with Firebase.
Yeah.
On this occasion.
I like Firebase a lot, so I think it's a great technology and it's definitely helpful to know about. So it's good. Good for expanding beyond just our typical SQL stuff. I mean, when you guys get out of here, it's going to be wonderful to have other technologies that you guys can tie into now that you know how to use APIs and stuff. It's going to be good. So what would you say you're most looking forward to now?
The experience. Honestly, I'm kind of charging into the unknown right now, and you know, I don't know what's waiting for me out there. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like in the business world.
Are you going to do anything more with your Movie Tracker?
Well, I'm going to use it.
Okay, use it. I like it. Great job. Any other questions?
So a question. So first of all, Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies. How many times have I watched it? 100? I don't know.
At
Lots of
least.
times. So what will you do with this app to access your favorite movie or anyone else to access their favorite movie?
So if your movie isn't in the archive, which it probably isn't, you can just add it right here.
Okay,
And
so the archive is something you've established. You don't access an archive through your app?
so the archive is something that I've made, essentially. It's in the Firebase database right here that I have. All the archives. You can see here we have all the movies, or all the actors and all the movies right here.
And you're just going to keep adding to it, right?
Yeah.
So as people come to the site, they can keep adding their own movies that they find as their favorites and their own actors.
Yeah, if this website was live, it would be limitless how many movies and actors could be added, because anyone can add.
So once you have a movie selected, like as far as the future of your application here, are you going to tie in the movies in some way? Like maybe show presentations of the trailers or connect to IMDb in some way? Is that in the future of your application?
Yeah, I think so. If I work on this anymore, which I probably will because I like it, I'm going to do something like that for sure.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay.
Good job.
Great job.
Now we're gonna do some graduating.
That's the moment everybody's here for, right?
All right. So we'll read you guys' names one at a time, and you can come and get your certificates of completion. So first, we have Ignacio Luciano.
Ooh. Ignacio. Congratulations, buddy. Welcome to the Coder family, man.
Tyler Bufwa. Wally Gabriselassie.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And Ennis.
Dennis, you made it, buddy.